Ever since we discovered that brain cells actually shrink while you're asleep, I've been really wanting to talk about the links between sleep and dementia. So with it being all over the news this week that sleep could cure Alzheimer's, now seemed like a really good time. Memory is stored in two parts of the brain. During the day, working memory is stored in the hippocampus. At night, while we sleep, this information is sorted and the important stuff is uploaded to an area called the frontal cortex for long-term storage. So this acts like the hard drive, which means sleep is really important for memory consolidation. That's the long-term storage of memory. And interestingly, there have been loads of links between sleep and dementia, both anecdotally and in the scientific literature. So people with Alzheimer's report much more poor quality sleep, much more disrupted sleep and less sleep. Also, we know that amyloid beta levels correlate with sleep. What's amyloid beta? Well, amyloid beta is a peptide which is found in the brain during Alzheimer's disease. It builds up and it starts to kill the surrounding brain cells, and this is what causes the symptoms of the disease. We don't really understand where amyloid beta comes from or how it kills the cells. So if we could understand this, it would give us something we could use to treat dementia. And that's why the sleep story has been all over the news. What these guys actually did was they found that amyloid beta in the frontal cortex, so that's this area of the brain, disrupts a particular kind of sleep called non-REM sleep. And that's the sleep which is not associated with dreaming. And this caused a decreased storage of memory, so less memory were uploaded and less memories were stored. This is interesting because it's not the whole story. So I said before that brain cells actually shrink while we're asleep. And that's because while we're asleep, they're much less active, so they don't need to be so big. And it turns out this could be really important because while they're smaller, the fluid around the cells can wash away the toxins which are built up in the day. And one of those toxins is the Alzheimer's amyloid beta protein. So if we decrease the amount of sleep people are having, we get much less clearance of amyloid beta, which means that we get an increased amount of amyloid beta in the brain. So we know that there's this kind of vicious cycle. More amyloid beta decreases sleep, which means more amyloid beta. But what we don't really know is what happens first. Does the amyloid beta build up first and decrease sleep? Or do problems with sleep cause loss of amyloid beta clearance and a build-up of amyloid beta? This is because these were kind of snapshot studies, so this is one group of patients on one day. To properly understand this, we need some really long-term studies looking at a lot of people over a long period of time. But one of the reasons that this is quite exciting is because it's a potential really easy way to interfere with the development of disease. So we could look at poor quality sleep as a marker for Alzheimer's disease to try and identify people who might get the disease, but we could also try and interfere with the sleep, so improve people's sleep to improve the disease. This is all really far in the distance. We need a lot more research before we can get that, but at the moment it's really exciting news.